Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. We're sitting in a 2014 Ford Escape, the 1.6 liter. It has an interesting noise during crank, and it is intermittent, so it doesn't happen all the time. Let me set the camera up and microphone, see if I can get it to act up and you can hear it. I'm gonna set my microphone down right here. Hopefully you can hear it. Hopefully that picked up in the microphone. What I'm gonna use is a scope and what are called chassis ears. So let me set that up and I'll show you how we'll pinpoint this noise. All right, this is how I have it set up. I have the computer with the software and I have my scope. This will work on any scope and you want at least 2 channels. This is a 4-channel scope, so we can hook up 4 probes at the same time. So these are our probes. We'll just clamp them on to various places. The loudest noise or the most vibration will translate onto this screen and it'll make the biggest wave. These waves don't mean anything here, that's just testing the equipment. So let me go under, I'll hook these up, I'll show you where I'm hooking them up, and then we'll crank it over until we hear that noise again. Okay, so this is where I have them. This is the green, it's hooked up to the front of the transmission, because I want to make sure, is it a transmission noise or is it an engine noise? Then back here, the white, which on the scope is yellow, that goes to the back of the transmission. So front of the transmission, back of the transmission. And then here I have the transfer case, that's going to be red. And then over here I have black, which is blue on the scope. That goes kind of to the front of the engine. So now let's have it make its noise, and we'll see if we can isolate this. All right, got you looking at the screen the best that I can. Let me take my microphone off, and I'll set it on the engine. Set it right here. Okay, so now let me hit record. We're rolling. Let's make some noise. All right, there it was, and you can see on the scope right here, it looks different. So let's pause this. Now let's analyze it. Really, there's not much to analyze. We just need to see which one. It looks like the blue here is the biggest. Let me turn off the yellow. The red is kind of bigger than green and yellow. Green is no good. The yellow, red. So yeah, red a little, but definitely blue here. Definitely this blue one. So over here, my blue, so this is blue here. I have the black one. That was the one we put in the front of the engine. And then red, I forget where we put red, but definitely significantly less on the red than it is on this blue. So let's go under. We'll take these 3 off and put them closer to our black one, and we'll keep narrowing it down. Okay, so I only have 2 underneath. This black one I kept where it is because that's going to be our reference. The green one right here, I stuck on the AC compressor just to make sure it's not a compressor issue or something like that. The other 2 I have up top. The top ones, I have the red on this engine mount. That's going to translate any noise that's in our front engine timing cover. Then this one back here, I just have on the plastic. It sounds metallic, but I could be wrong. Let's give that a try. All right, got you all set up. We're rolling. Let's see if we can make some noise. Stop this. So it looks like the red one is pretty loud. Yellow, looks like they're almost all the same, very close to each other. So definitely on this front cover for sure. It happened on the 5th turn. Let's see if that's repeatable. Let me start recording again. All right, that one happened on the 4th. Kind of the same. This red one and blue one are very similar to each other. Mostly the red and blue. So that is this red one up here. Right here on the engine mount gets our front cover vibration. And the blue one underneath, that was our original. That's on the bottom, getting that front cover as well. So let me see if I can find a few more places to put our clamps and see if we can get even closer to what this is. All right, my microphone was wigging out, so the volume might be a little different. Okay, so we have our white one here. It's just on a sensor. I believe that's the crank position sensor. Our blue is still the blue. That hasn't moved. We got one up here, the green one. That's on the serpentine belt tensioner. And we got one right here in the front of the timing cover, and that's our 4. So let's see what that does. You guys tipped over. Oh, wow. Okay. Go ahead and stop. So our green one, wow, you see how tall that is? So let's turn that off and see what the next, whoa. See how short all these are in comparison? So that green one is definitely a lot closer to where we need to be. Let's go down and see where I put that green one. That green one I put on that serpentine belt tensioner. What I'm gonna do is loosen the tensioner, take off the belt, and see if our noise goes away. All right, so now the belt is out of play. So let's see what that did for our noise. All right, that was 10 consecutive times, no noise. So it seems like our noise is belt driven. So let's see if we can clamp onto everything that's belt driven. We already did the tensioner, so we'll leave that clamp on. We'll put one on the AC compressor, one on the alternator, and see what else we can do. All right, last one. I have one on the alternator, AC compressor, the tensioner, and I couldn't get one on the water pump, but I got one really close to one of the water pump bolts. All right, here we go. Place your bets. Did it right away. So it looks like the green is still our guy. Take it away. What's the next big one? Is just the red, blue, yellow, but nothing near the green. Well, I think that's our diagnosis. All right, that is it. This needs a belt tensioner. I was not expecting that. If the customer decides to go with the tensioner, I will have a link for the repair video. But if not, at least we know we diagnosed this correctly. Correctly. There we go. So slide it to the back of the engine. It fits right through there, nice and easy. Belt comes out with it. All right, back to pretending you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just sliding this in. Got the belt on, going around the back of the engine. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and fire it up. Make sure the belt is tracking properly. And for us, make sure that noise is gone. All right, here we go. I'll put the microphone over here so you can hear it. All right, let me know if you hear anything. I don't get it. When we were going through the diagnostic process, I took off the belt and the noise seemed to go away. I was able to start it 10 consecutive times without that noise. Put the belt back on, sure enough, noise comes right back. So I'm like, well, this is belt related. When we had our scope hooked up and the clamps on various belt driven things, the loudest noise or the area with the most vibration when that noise occurred was our serpentine belt tensioner. Well, new tensioner, noise is still there. Okay, real quick, I took the belt off one more time. I just want to make sure that wasn't a fluke. So I'm just going to crank it over, start it up a bunch of times, see if that noise is still there. So I'm going to set the camera up and the microphone at the engine and listen for the noise. Well, this time with the belt off, plain as day, that noise is still there. So I don't know what happened last time. So misdiagnosis by coincidence? That's weird. All right, so even with the belt off, this vehicle is still making that noise. So that leads me to conclude that that noise is an internal engine issue. So something behind that front cover towards the top where that belt tensioner is. Now I know we have a couple of phasers up there that could possibly be failing. The timing belt is back there, timing belt tensioner, all that good stuff. But in order to pinpoint it, we could look at a manual, see what's behind there in that general location, but really to pinpoint it, we have to pull that front cover off, and that's a lot of work. So we're not gonna be able to do that this time. Hopefully there was something of value that you saw in this video, maybe learned a new technique or trick. I love using that scope to pinpoint noises. Just that nice clear visual is really helpful. All right, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down below. I'll see you on the next one.